And staying with the macro centres, April to November fiscal deficit has come in lower than a year ago on the back of lower fresh borrowings and interest payments. Revenue and primary deficits have also seen big drops. But the pace of expenditure has been lower than what it was a year ago, and so are tax revenue. Sapna joins us now with the numbers and the year-on-year comparison. Sapna, where do we stand in the first half of this financial year?
Well, definitely this is good news for the government with the fiscal deficit between April and November clocking just barely around 9.06 trillion rupees. That's lower by over 70,000 crores as compared to the previous year's number. So that's a big number to speak about, and mainly the reasons are a massive contraction in the revenue deficit. Also, you can see that, and also the primary deficit. Mainly the primary deficit is also, appears to be falling off the cliff. So basically, two major reasons here. A slightly lower interest payments. This is something that the government has been working on very consistently over the last year and a half. And second, also against how much they're actually supposed to borrow fresh. That borrowing is actually lower at the moment, at least at the moment. So, both factors combined together is yielding the government this kind of a headroom. Second element, of course, if you look at it in terms of your, the revenue deficit numbers, much lower, over 2 lakh crore rupees lower than what they were at this point in time last financial year. And primary deficit I've just mentioned. Now, very quickly, talking also in terms of the tax revenues, because here the budget estimates, the tax revenues have fallen slightly behind what they should have been at the moment in terms of the budget estimates. So around 61% of the budget estimates, 61.6% to be precise, has been met in terms of your tax revenues. Previous year it was around over 63%. So it appears as if the pace of growth in tax revenues is not really up to the speed. But if you look at the absolute numbers are really stellar. And particularly in terms of direct taxes, your corporate taxes and income taxes are really growing at a very, very rapid pace. So I think that will take care of the overall tax bracket. For instance, your excise is falling back. There have been excise duty cuts earlier, 2 occasions. Those have been deep cuts, so some impact will be there. Customs, again, almost neck to neck as last financial year. So it's direct taxes which will be the lead factor as far as your tax revenues are concerned. Last but not the least, even in terms of your expenditure, capital expenditure, as well as the overall expenditure this year so far is 3% lower than what they had done, what the centre had done last year at the same point in time. So if you convert that into rough numbers, that's a headroom of over 1 lakh odd crore. Will that mean that some announcements could come despite the FM saying not a spectacular budget? But we'll have to really wait and watch on that front. But the headroom on the fiscal front is extremely clear with these numbers.
All right, I appreciate you joining us. We will, of course, wait to see what the vote on account the interim budget holds for us. Now, India's 8th. For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC-TV18 on all of our digital platforms.